Not every legendary machine from the muscle car era carried a sky-high price tag or wore the badge of an icon like Mustang, Camaro, or Charger. In fact, some of the best-kept secrets in the automotive world are the small-block V8 cars that packed plenty of performance, offered unique styling, and gave everyday drivers a taste of pure Detroit muscle, without breaking the bank. These weren't just budget cars, they were hidden treasures. Cars that proved you didn't need a big block to make a big impression. Today on American Muscle Wheels, we're taking a journey back through time to uncover 7 underrated small-block V8 muscle cars, ranked from the most affordable to the most powerful, each one carrying its own story of style, speed, and attitude. Buckle up, because you're about to see why these cars still deserve the spotlight. Number 1, 1973 Ford Maverick Grabber, $18,795, quarter mile, 17.1 seconds. Sometimes the underdog has the most charm. The Ford Maverick Grabber was small, inexpensive, and often dismissed as just an economy car. But beneath that lightweight body, Ford offered the 302 cubic inch small block V8, a tried-and-true engine that appeared in countless Fords of the era. With 140 horsepower and 235 lb-ft of torque paired to a 3-speed manual transmission, it wasn't going to dominate the drag strip. But that wasn't the point. The Maverick Grabber was about accessibility, getting behind the wheel of a V8-powered American car for less money than just about anything else. With a top speed of 113 miles per hour, it offered plenty of fun and freedom for the everyday driver. Number 2, 1964 Chevrolet Nova SS, $31,814, quarter mile, 16.2 seconds. The Chevy Nova has often been overshadowed by its bigger brother, the Chevelle, but don't be fooled. The Nova SS had a lot to offer. Compact and lightweight, this little Chevy was the perfect platform for small block power. In 1964, buyers could order the Nova SS with the 283 cubic inch TurboFire V8, producing 195 horsepower and 285 lb-ft of torque. That might not sound earth-shattering today, but in a car this small, it made for a spirited ride. A 3-speed manual sent power to the rear wheels, giving it a top speed of 112 miles per hour. What made the Nova SS special was its balance. It gave you the nimble feel of a compact car while still packing the growl and torque of a true muscle machine. This was Chevy proving that muscle could come in smaller, more affordable packages, and it laid the groundwork for later, wilder Novas that would terrorize the streets. Number 3, 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass, $33,523, quarter mile, 16.2 seconds. When people think Oldsmobile, they often picture the massive 455 powered machines, but the 350 powered Cutlass deserves its own recognition. In 1972, the Cutlass stood as one of GM's best-selling models, offering style, comfort, and muscle in one attractive package. The 350 small block V8 delivered 200 horsepower and 300 lb-ft of torque, channeled through a 4-speed manual gearbox. While not as outrageous as its big block siblings, this version could still hit a top speed of 117 miles per hour. The Cutlass had a subtle elegance with its clean lines and premium interior, but it was no pushover at the strip. Overshadowed by the Chevelle and Pontiac GTO, the Cutlass quietly carved out its place as an underrated muscle machine. Today it remains one of the best entry points for collectors wanting a real taste of GM muscle without paying GTO money. Number 4, 1971 AMC Javelin, $33,782, quarter mile, 15.7 seconds. AMC never had the budget of Ford, GM, or Chrysler. But what they lacked in resources, they made up for in creativity. The 1971 Javelin was proof. With bold, almost futuristic styling and plenty of attitude, the Javelin stood out in a sea of Mustangs and Camaros. Under the hood, the small block 360 cubic inch V8 pushed out 245 horsepower and 365 lb-ft of torque. Paired with a 3-speed manual, it delivered a top speed of 115 miles per hour. While the Javelin could be optioned with the larger 401 V8, the 360 small block offered the perfect blend of power and drivability. The Javelin was more than just a car. It was AMC's statement that they belonged in the muscle car wars. It's a car for enthusiasts who want something different, something that turns heads not just for speed, but for daring design and rarity. Number 5, 1972, Plymouth Duster, $331,645, quarter mile, 15.2 seconds. The Plymouth Duster 340 is the definition of a sleeper muscle car. Light, affordable, and practical enough to be a daily driver, the Duster 340 packed serious performance in its compact frame. With a 340 cubic inch V8 producing 240 horsepower and 290 lb-ft of torque, it had an excellent power-to-weight ratio. Through a 3-speed manual transmission, this little Mopar could hit 124 miles per hour and run the quarter mile in just over 15 seconds. But what really made the Duster special was its versatility. It could be your weekday commuter and your weekend drag strip warrior. Overshadowed by bigger names like the Cuda and Charger, the Duster 340 quietly built a reputation for being one of Mopar's best bang-for-your-buck muscle cars. Today, it's a favorite among collectors who appreciate its no-nonsense approach to muscle. Number 6, 1969, Buick Skylark, GS $36,020 quarter mile, 15.5 seconds. When you think of Buick, you think of luxury, comfort, and smooth cruising. But the Skylark GS proved that Buick could flex some muscle too. The small block 350 V8 under the hood produced 280 horsepower and 375 lb-ft of torque, sending its power through a 3-speed manual transmission. This was enough to push the Skylark to a top speed of 121 miles per hour and respectable quarter-mile times. The Skylark GS was often ignored because it didn't scream performance like a Camaro or a GTO, but that was part of its charm. This was a muscle car that carried itself with quiet confidence, blending comfort and speed into one very underrated package. It wasn't the loudest or the flashiest, but for those in the know, the Skylark GS delivered the best of both worlds. Number 7, 1968, Mercury Cougar XR7, $31,350 quarter mile, 14.5 seconds. Finally, we reached the top of our list, the Mercury Cougar XR7. Marketed as Ford's upmarket alternative to the Mustang, the Cougar combined muscle car performance with a more refined, comfortable cabin. But don't let that luxury image fool you, the XR7 was no softie. With its 390 cubic inch small block V8, cranking out 325 horsepower and 427 lb-ft of torque, this car could roar down the strip in 14.5 seconds and hit 131 miles per hour. Paired with a 4-speed manual, the Cougar was both powerful and engaging. And here's the kicker, it's still far more affordable than a comparable Mustang today. The Cougar XR7 is living proof that sometimes the car in the Mustang's shadow is just as worthy, if not more so, of attention. It had the style, the comfort, and the muscle to back up its name. And there you have it. 7 underrated small block V8 muscle cars that prove you don't need a big block or a big budget to enjoy the thrill of American muscle. So which one of these underrated classics would you want in your garage? Let me know in the comments, and if you love diving into the forgotten legends of muscle car history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's always more horsepower, more history, and more passion waiting for you, right here on American Muscle Wheels.